I literally have not slept since yesterday's championship race. My mind has been racing. I'm running on Diet Coke and a dream, people. I just got back from the airport. I had to make this video. This is a pivotal moment in NASCAR history. Many fans are questioning the sport's legitimacy. The playoffs are facing intense scrutiny. This is the most pressure I've seen fans put on NASCAR in the 8 years since this playoff format was implemented. Joey Logano winning the championship this past weekend despite a 17th place average finish on the season has been the breaking point for many fans. We discussed this in last night's episode, and I think last night's video that I did at the track, if you haven't seen it, I don't think my opinions accurately represented your frustrations. Not all of you, of course, but I received, over 1,600 comments in less than 12 hours. Clearly, there is a lot of passion out there. I didn't want yesterday's video to just be about the playoff format. I wanted to give Joey Logano the praise I think he deserved. I defended some elements of the current playoff format that I do believe have merit in order to make that case. But now that we've had a night to sleep on it, well, most of you, I'm sure, not me, I do want to make a dedicated playoff format video, something I have not done on this show in probably years. Among the nearly 2,000 comments I've received since last night were dozens and dozens of proposed playoff fixes. You guys have tons and tons of ideas, and when I go on to X, I see dozens and dozens more. Seriously, in the past week or so, I've probably read through hundreds of different playoff variations. I'm not exaggerating. Everyone has a different idea on how NASCAR should crown its champions going forward. That's what makes this topic so difficult. No one's exactly thrilled with what they saw at Phoenix yesterday, unless I guess you're a Joey Logano fan, or your first name is Steve. But no one seems to agree on what NASCAR should do differently. So today, again, I have not slept. I thought about this all last night when I was trying to sleep, thought about it at the airport, on the plane. I am going to give you guys my very own NASCAR playoff proposal. Now, a couple of qualifications right off the bat. I want this proposal to be realistic. I'm wearing this hat sort of ironically. NASCAR is not going back to the 2003 and before Winston Cup era full season points. I think that's extremely unlikely. Steve O'Donnell said this last week. The playoffs are here to stay. They're willing to make changes within that structure, but they're not going back to a full season points championship. That seems highly unlikely. So we have to make a realistic system. So I am going to take some elements from the current playoff format. Again, this is my realistic new NASCAR playoff proposal. Let's break it down. Follow along at home, and please don't hold back. Tell me what you think. If you love it, hate it, I won't be offended. A few basic changes. I think the regular season champion should earn more playoff points than they do now. Right now, they earn 15 additional playoff points. My proposal is they should earn at least 20. Gives them an additional advantage throughout the final 10 races of the season. I also would get rid of the win and you're in the regular season. I believe only the top 16 in regular season points should qualify. If we were to apply this format to this season, obviously teams would race a bit differently, but Chris Buescher, Ross Chastain, who both won playoff races, they would have qualified. Bubba Wallace, and even Kyle Busch, I believe, was 16th in points at the end of the regular season. Kyle Busch would have made the playoffs under this format. Harrison Burton wouldn't have. Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe would have missed out. Here's where we get to some more dramatic changes. I propose a wild card race to open the playoffs. More on that in a moment. And I would get rid of the winner-take-all championship race and replace it with a 3-race championship round, a slightly larger sample size. One of the strongest arguments I've heard from the anti-playoffs crowd is that there are too many variables in racing. In NASCAR, there are dozens of cars not in the playoffs that could impact your race. Extending the championship round to 3 races hopefully gives us a better sample size. But let's get to the details. Let's talk about my wild card race. So 16 drivers make the playoffs. They are seeded based on how many playoff points they earned during the regular season. You get playoff points by winning stages, winning races, finishing well in the regular season standings, exactly the same as it is today. Seeds 1 through 8 are locked into the round of 12. They can race for additional playoff points in this wildcard race, but they don't have to worry about getting eliminated. Seeds 9 through 16 will compete for the remaining round of 12 spots. But here's the catch. They start the race with the playoff points that they collected during the regular season. So the 9 seed may have 7 playoff points. The 16 seed may have 2. So that would be a 5.5 position advantage the 9 seed would have going into this wild card race. One race to determine seeds 9 through 12. This could create some chaos, could create some controversy, but at least the top 8, probably the most legitimate championship contenders, are safe. We don't have to worry about any paralyzing upsets. Joey Logano, this year's champion, I believe was the 9 seed entering this year's playoff, so he would have been in this round of 16 wild card race. Oh, and it should go without saying, this race can't be run at a super speedway. Not at Atlanta, not at Daytona. This race should be run at a traditional intermediate or short oval. Darlington, Michigan, New Hampshire, Gateway needs to be run at a track like that. One race, seeds 9 through 16, battle for the final round of 12 transfer spots. And then we get to the round of 12, and this is business as usual. Points reset, again, based on how many playoff points you've earned. It's 3 races. You can win to lock your way into the next round, or you can advance on points. I do like the added emphasis on winning in the playoffs. Consistency gets you into the playoffs, but once you're here, if you want to be a serious championship contender, you should be expected to win. So a win can qualify you to the next round, basically the exact same as it is now for the round of 12 and also for the round of 8. So your playoff point reset, 3 races, the whole shebang. But once we get to the championship 4, rather than 1 race, this will be a 3-race round, and rather than having the 4 championship contenders reset to 0 effectively like they are now, they will once again reset to the number of playoff points they've earned throughout the year. So again, the 1 seed will have a slight advantage over the 2 seed, over the 3, over the 4, and so on. 3 races, whoever's leading the points at the end of race 3 is your champion. So you see how I've broken this down? It's almost like a reverse of the current format. The current format goes 3-3-3-1. My version gets that 1 wild card race out of the way, and then it's 3-3-3 to finish the season. I hope that makes sense. And I know there are some people watching this video, really another playoff format? Why do we have to overcomplicate things? Again, this is supposed to be realistic. This is a format that I realistically believe NASCAR could implement this offseason. It's similar to the format we have now, but rewards consistency a bit more. Still allows for those clutch Game 7 moments to lock into the next round, but the odds of a less consistent team winning the title go down significantly. So if we implemented my format this year, Joey Logano would have still made the championship 4 under my format. But rather than winning that race at Phoenix and riding off into the sunset, he would have still needed to defend his points lead for 2 more weeks. Imagine, instead of winning the title yesterday, Joey Logano still has 2 more weeks to hold off Ryan Blaney, William Byron. Yeah, Logano won the race, but Blaney and Byron finished 2nd and 3rd. They're still right on his heels in the points. Logano would have to be really good for 3 weeks instead of just 1. And if Joey Logano was good enough to win the title after those 3 weeks, I'd say he earned it. My biggest hangups with the current format are the winner-take-all finale. I think a lot of fans agree with me there. I don't love the winning you're in the regular season. I'd rather just reward consistency. Harrison Burton's win at Daytona was awesome. Great story. It didn't need to come with a playoff berth. Like, the story was Harrison breaking through, big stage, Wood Brothers getting their 100th win. It was already a great, great moment without the playoff implications. I don't think winning you're in needs to stick around. And then again, additional playoff points for the regular season champion put a little more emphasis on full season consistency. I hope this strikes a good balance. What do you guys think? Down in the comment section below. Do you agree with my format? Are there any other additional tweaks you might make? Do you feel this is a good enough balance between what we have now and maybe what we've had in the past? Let me know. Honestly, give me your 100% honest opinion. I don't think I've ever done this on my show where I actually lay out a hypothetical format proposal. I wanted to try and be constructive. Everyone is sharing their own proposals online. I figured I'd join the chorus. Let me know if you like my proposal or if you don't. After having a night to hopefully sleep on this year's championship race, how do you feel about Joey Logano clinching? That'll do it for this episode, y'all. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Just because it's the off season, that doesn't mean I'm going anywhere. Uploads may slow down slightly, but not much. Huge thank you to my Patreon supporters supporters as well. There's always something to talk about. I will keep you all up to date all off season long. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday.